Hello and good morning friends, welcome to CEC-UGC live lecture. Dear friends, in this session today we are going to discuss about fundamentals of nutrition, and under this very topic we are going to discuss what is nutrition, what is health, why nutrients are essential for human body, as well as we are going to discuss different food groups, as well as we are going to know what is RDA. And for this we have in our studios Dr. Nilima Asthana. She is Assistant Professor in Department of Education, Lady Irwin College, Delhi University. So first of all, I would like to welcome our guest, Dr. Nilima Asthana.
Thank you.
Ma'am, over to you, because nutrition is very important part of the human diet or human food, but as a whole, nutrition, we human beings tend to skip it.
Yeah.
So we would like to know from you what are those fundamentals?
Yeah, and it is very important to understand the facts about nutrition, because everything is not nutrition. And first of all, what is nutrition? And it is very important, and at times because nutrition can change your life. You can say that the nutrition should be very healthy, should be very food should be frequent, and we should have in between something. But it is important to know the facts about nutrition, because it is not that if somebody says that you should have an apple, so is it simply knowing an apple is more nutrition than a brownie? Is it eating bland, tasteless foods? Is it a way to satisfy your hunger? So what is nutrition according to you? What is nutrition? Actually, scientifically we define as the food at work in the body. Nutrition includes everything that happens to food from the time it is eaten until it is used for various functions in the body. Nutrition is the food you eat and how the body uses it. So it is not only what you eat. You can eat anything, anytime, but till it starts from the eating, from the mouth till it goes to body and used for different body functions. Then what is food? Food which nourishes the body. Food may also be defined as anything eaten or drunk which meets the needs for energy, building, regulation and protection of the body. In short, food is the raw material from which bodies are made. We eat food to live, to grow, to keep healthy and well, and to get energy for work and play. Food is made up of different nutrients needed for growth and health. Many kinds of combinations of food can lead to a well-balanced diet. Combination of food means we cannot eat only chapati, we cannot eat only bread. We always need something to spread on bread, either butter or cheese or jam. So every time we used to have something in combination. For example, it is true that we can take any fruit in between, but while we take our full meal, we need to have different varieties, because each and a single food cannot fulfill the requirement of the body. We will come to know about nutrients and all in the process. So intake of the right kind of food is very much essential to keep yourself healthy. Then what is nutrient? As I told you that we need different nutrients. That is why we used to have a combination of foods. Nutrients are the components of food that are needed by the body in adequate amounts in order to grow, reproduce and lead a normal healthy life. Nutrients include water, proteins, fats, carbohydrates, minerals and vitamins. You all would have heard about carbohydrate, protein, nutrient, minerals, etc., and everybody would say that you should have proteins in your diet, you should have carbohydrates in your diet, and you will see these kind of information in the advertisements also, but it is very superficial. We need to understand the truth behind different nutrients, how much, when and in what combination, because certain nutrients cannot work alone. For example, calcium, so somebody says that milk contains calcium, but it does not contain vitamin D. So it means that calcium will only be utilized in the body when we will have vitamin D in our diet. So it is a very large field in where we come to know about the nutrients, the interaction of different nutrients, and in this way we can say that most nutrients do their best work in the body when teamed with other nutrients. So there are over 40 essential nutrients supplied by food which are used to produce literally thousands of substances necessary for life and physical fitness. For example, the hormones, the enzymes which work continuously in our body to keep it healthy and balanced, we always need a variety of nutrients in proper combination. No food by itself has all the nutrients needed for full growth and health. For adequate, optimum and good nutrition, it is important to have proper combination of nutrients in our diet. Expressions used to indicate that the supply of essential nutrients is correct in amount and proportion. It also implies that the utilization of such nutrients in the body is such that the highest level of physical and mental health is maintained throughout. So what is nutrient requirements? When we talk about nutrient, it doesn't mean that only we need protein, only we need carbohydrate. There should be a balance in the intake of nutrients. All persons throughout life have need for the same nutrients but in varying amount. For example, a child when comes in the world, he needs a lot of protein for growth and development. But as we grow old, the requirement of protein we feel less requirement of protein. The amounts of nutrients needed are influenced by age, sex, size, activity and the state of health. Suggestions for the kind and amounts of foods needed are made by trained scientists, and in our country an organization known as Indian Council for Medical Research recommends the nutrient requirements for various groups. First of all, we should know the important definitions exactly. Then what is health? Health is defined by the World Health Organization, WHO of the United Nations, as the state of complete physical, mental and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. It means that it is not only physical health, it is also mental and social health. And it doesn't mean that we should be, if we are disease free or not having any impairment, we are healthy. Then nutrients, what are nutrients? As we already know that these are the constituents in food that must be supplied to the body in suitable amounts. Nutritional status is the condition of the health of the individual as influenced by the utilization of nutrients. Nutritional status, it is interesting that whether we take appropriate amount of nutrients or not, nutritional status is related to the absorption and utilization of those nutrients in the body. So it is important to have a healthy body to properly utilize the nutrients which we are taking through our diet. Then nutritional care is the application of science and art of human nutrition in helping people select and obtain food for the primary purpose of nourishing their bodies in health or in disease throughout the life cycle. This participation may be in single or combined functions, in feeding groups involving food selection and management, in extending knowledge of food and nutrition, principles in teaching these principles for application according to particular situations, and in dietary counseling. So nutritional care exactly is not only science, it is also arts, because cooking is an art and keeping all the nutrients intact in the food is a science. So nutritional care is not only science, it is the application of the knowledge of science and art both on the human nutrition. Then comes the malnutrition. Malnutrition is an impairment of health resulting from a deficiency, excess or imbalance of nutrients. So, malnutrition means when nutrition is not normal. It may be excess of nutrients or it may be undernutrition, that is lack of nutrients. So, it is in a way excess or imbalance of nutrients. It includes undernutrition, which refers to a deficiency of calories and or more essential nutrients, and overnutrition, which is an excess of one or more nutrients and usually of calories. Overnutrition is always related to calorie protein malnutrition. Then we come over to functions of food. Functions of food could be understood only after having an understanding of nutrients and nutrition. Food we eat perform different function in our body. It is divided into three: physiological functions of food, sociological functions of food and psychological functions of food. Physiological functions of food are again divided into three. These are the need for, as physiological function means the function of food which is taken by the food in the body in various forms. So, first is the need for food material to supply energy. When we are very hungry, we feel very means we just do not feel to do, we just do not want to work anymore, we just do not concentrate on our studies. So, the first and foremost function of food is giving the energy to our body. Second function is need to build and maintain the cells and tissues. As the child grows and an individual grows throughout the life, for the growth and development various nutrients are required. So, the second function of food is growth and development of the body, indirectly the growth and development of cells and tissues in the body. Then the third function is need of materials to regulate body processes. As we all know that food we eat is digested in our body, goes to the cells, or respiration is a continuous process, circulation is a continuous process. For each and every function of the body, we need certain kind of material for the regulation of those processes, and for that also we require food to regulate those functions. These needs are satisfied by nutrients. The need for food nutrients to supply energy, this is the first function of the food. The energy demand of the body must be satisfied before the body uses food for building and maintenance or regulation. So, when we talk about the three functions of food, the first, that is giving energy, is very much important, and it should be fulfilled before the growth and development as well as regulation of the body function. The nutrient which is supplying energy to our body is basically energy nutrients, and these include carbohydrate, protein and fats. Carbohydrate in the diet is the chief source of energy. So, the major function of the nutrient called as carbohydrate is to supply energy to our body. It is followed by the fat, with then the protein, which is providing the least amount of fat. And for our knowledge, I must tell you that 1 gram carbohydrate provides 4 kilocalorie, 1 gram fat provides 9 kilocalories of energy, and 1 gram protein provides 4 kilocalorie of energy. And it should be in a sequence that first the energy need should be satisfied by the carbohydrates which are present in cereals, mostly in the cereals or the tuberous vegetables. Then it should be satisfied by the fats in the diet, and the fats are supplied by the milk and milk products, oil, etc. And then protein, which is present in pulses, legumes and non-vegetarian food products as well as in milk. The need for food nutrients to build and maintain body tissues. This is the second function, and nutrients used in building and maintenance of body are protein, mineral and water. Most abundant body building nutrient is water, followed by protein, with minerals occurring in least amount. Each cell and tissue contains some of each of the body building nutrients. So, all these three means protein, minerals and water are busy in our body for the growth and development of our body. For example, our bones, the basic frame of our body is made up of calcium, and that is a mineral. And it is not only calcium, for that we need phosphorus also, and calcium and phosphorus together in the presence of vitamin D. So, these three nutrients are important to maintain the health of the bones. Then if we talk about, I think you would have come to know about these issues in your in the last lectures also, but to refresh those, just to bring those issues here. Protein, the blood in our body is made up of hemoglobin. Heme is iron and globin is protein. So, in that way blood and as well as blood also requires water. So, water, protein and iron, these three are required to form the blood. Then in the same way, muscles and tissues, protein is mainly required to maintain the health of tissues and cells and tissues. The third function is to regulate the body processes. So, except carbohydrate, all other nutrients play a role in the regulation of body processes. The essential fatty acids present in fat, the proteins, minerals, vitamins and water each perform certain regulatory functions essential to normal body operation, such as movement of fluids, control of balance between acid and base, coagulation of blood, activation of enzymes, maintenance of normal body temperature, etc. So, except carbohydrate, all other nutrients are required for the regulation of body processes. For example, for the digestion of food, certain enzymes are required, and for the preparation of those enzymes, certain nutrients are required, mainly protein and certain minerals, to give appropriate enzyme for the appropriate body activity. Then the social function of food, we cannot ignore the social function of food. Food, whether nutritious or not, it brings people together. For example, you can take the example of a school. During lunch time, all the students sit together and eat each other's lunch, and it gives a kind of feeling of togetherness. You can see in the picture, people attend the party or different social functions, and food is the essential item of any get together. Why? In a meeting also, in an official meeting, you will always find certain kind of food which is served in those meetings. Actually, during this period, people come together informally and come to know about each other. So, food plays a very important role while bringing people together, and it is known as social function of food. Whether marriages, whether parties, birthdays, anywhere you will find people sit together, eat together and interact with each other informally. Social function of food plays very important role. Social exchanges are important. Major function plays in social gatherings, marriages, festivals, get together. Also served at many other social events like tea, breakfast, banquets, award dinners, dance, meetings of all sorts. Food indirectly serves as an instrument to develop social support. Main function is to develop an atmosphere where social relationships may be fostered, and you can observe that when certain people, officials come from other countries, special dinners or lunches are served, so that they should come to know about the traditions and customs of each other's country. Then the psychological functions of food. As social function is important, likewise psychological function is also very much important. Food may make you depressed or may make you cheerful, because if it is according to your liking, you will feel cheerful, and if you do not like the food, you will not like to sit to eat that food, and it satisfied certain emotional needs. A meal may be adequate nutritionally, but it may not give you genuine satisfaction. For example, sometimes we say that कि माँ के हाथ के खाने की बात ही कुछ और होती है, तो it gives a very specific feeling to a child or to any person. तो वो अपने खाने को बहुत ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट से खाते हैं जब उनके किसी बहुत क्लोज ने बनाया होता है खाना. People who travel or live in a new land often find adjusting to the unfamiliar food custom a problem. With time, the strange becomes familiar and new likes are formed. Food is also used to express feelings. The giving of food is a token of friendship. The serving of favorite foods an expression of special attention and recognition, and withholding the wanted foods a means of punishment. So, as we serve to our close friends or close relatives the food of their choice, it shows my feeling to my close friend or my daughter or my son or my mother that I am giving some kind of special affection to her, and likewise I can punish my child by withholding the food of his or her choice. So, it works both ways. Now, another very important aspect is food group. When we talk about nutrients, when we talk about functions of food, it is also important to understand the food groups, because the functions of food are also dependent on the food groups. Because when we say that food is building body, then which food? So, in that sense we should have an idea about the food group, so that that particular function should be fulfilled. Foods have been classified into different groups depending upon the nutritive value for the convenience of planning meals. A food group is collection of foods that share similar nutritional properties or biological classifications. Nutrition guides typically divide food into food groups and recommended daily serving of each group for a healthy diet. Food groups like basic 3, basic 4, basic 5, basic 7 can be used for planning diets as per the convenience. So, it is classified basically depending on the nutritive value, and it makes our planning easier when we select food from each group, because we know that while selecting food from each group, the meal will be automatically balanced, and it guides us to divide food into according to our diet. And normally we have 4 different types of food groupings: basic 3 food groups, basic 4 food groups, basic 5 and basic 7. Basic 5 food group has been suggested by the Indian Council of Medical Research in Indian conditions. I will tell you about basically what are these grouping and what are the nutrients present in those groups. If we talk about basic 3 groups, so basic 3 groups are cereal, oil, sugar and jaggery. If you see the foods which are present in the first group, basically they provide energy and carbohydrate. The second group includes pulses, milk, milk products, fish, flesh foods and eggs, and all these foods provide basically and mainly protein and some amount of calcium also. Then the last one is green leafy vegetables and fruits. You will see that we are not adding the non-green leafy vegetables. So, these food products provide basically minerals and vitamins. So, this is the basic 3 food grouping. Next is basic 4. The basic 3 is divided into another group, and from cereal, oils and fats, oil and fats were removed and made another category. So, basic 4 food groups include cereal, millets and pulses, which provide energy, protein because pulses provide protein, Then B complex vitamins. The covering of the pulses and cereals include B vitamins, vitamin B complex you can say. The another group is vegetable and fruits. Here we are including all the vegetables, not only green leafy vegetables, and these include vitamins, minerals and fibers. The third food group is milk, milk products and animal foods. So you will see that this group is only giving protein and calcium and few vitamin B's. You can see that pulses has been removed from this food group, though pulses were providing protein. Actually protein is of different qualities, as you must be knowing about that from the last lectures. So, high quality protein and low quality protein. So group 3 usually provides high quality protein, and pulses do not provide high quality protein due to the presence of essential amino acids. The fourth group is oil, fats, nuts and oil seeds. You will see that cereals are removed from here and nuts are added, because nuts are in a way they are also providing oil, and that is, and these a few nuts and oil seeds also provide protein. So this group mainly provide energy and little bit of protein. The basic 5 food group given by Indian Council of Medical Research, and we usually follow this five food group whenever we conduct practicals in our colleges and schools, because these 5 food groups are recommended by ICMR, and accordingly balanced diets have been recommended by the ICMR. The first group is cereal, grains and products. This group provide energy, protein, invisible fat, vitamin B complex, iron and fiber. Pulses and legumes. Pulses have been removed from the cereals. So pulses and legumes are together. They provide energy, protein, invisible fat, vitamin B complex, folic acid, calcium, iron and fiber. Milk and meat products. Here it is not milk product, it is milk and meat products. Milk include curd, skimmed milk, cheese. Then meat products include chicken, liver, flesh, egg and meat, basically and mainly protein. Then fat, riboflavin is vitamin A, calcium and carbohydrate. The fourth group is fruits and vegetables, and it is again divided into 3. The first group includes mango, guava, tomato, papaya, orange, sweet lime, watermelon. You will find that these all fruits are and vegetables are having a peculiar color, and that is yellow orange, and it provides carotenoids. Again it is a vitamin A, vitamin C, riboflavin, folic acid, iron and fiber. Then the second is green leafy vegetables, which provides riboflavin, folic acid, calcium, fiber, iron and carotenoids, and other vegetables carotenoid, folic acid, calcium and fiber. The fifth group is it includes fats and sugars. Fats and sugars, when these two names come in our mind, we always relate these two names to the obesity. So yes, these two provide a huge amount of energy. Fats include butter, ghee, hydrogenated fat, cooking oils, sugar and jaggery. Jaggery also provides some amount of iron, as these are sugar, jaggery etc. are the stages of purification while making manufacturing sugar. So during processing, some amount of iron is included in the jaggery. The basic 7 food groups include green and yellow vegetables. Again the 5 are divided further minutely. Green and yellow vegetables, these include ascorbic acid, that is vitamin C, iron and carotenoids. The second is grape, orange, tomatoes and raw cabbage, these mainly ascorbic acid. Potato, other vegetables and fruits, vitamins, minerals and fibers, as well as some amount of carbohydrate. Milk and milk product provides calcium, phosphorus, protein, vitamin as well as fat. Egg, poultry, meat and fish, mainly iron, mainly protein along with iron, phosphorus and vitamin B. Bread, flour and cereals, mainly carbohydrate, but also thiamine, iron, riboflavin and fiber. Then last one is butter and fortified products, and these provide vitamin A and fat. Fortification means some amount of nutrients are added in the vanaspati. So, when we talk about food group, we must know about the food guide pyramid. It gives us a guidance which is very much related to the food group. The lowermost is, you can see, it is the broadest, you can say. So, it includes grains, beans, starchy vegetables, 6 or more servings. So, basically it provides energy and it forms the major portion of our diet. The second is fruits and vegetable, fruits 2 to 4 servings recommended, and vegetables 3 to 5 servings. Then third is milk, meat and others, milk 2 to 3 servings and meat and others 2 to 3 servings if a person is non-vegetarian. Then last is the narrowest portion of the pyramid, includes fats, sweets and alcohol. So, it should be least in our diet. Now, food in relation to health. When we talk about nutrients, we must know in brief about the role of nutrients in the body, though I know that you must be knowing as these were discussed in the previous lectures, but in short I will want to add these in this lecture also. So, energy and protein, the major sources are fat, sugar, cereal, pulses, egg, meat. Deficiency may lead to underweight, and the diseases are known as kwashiorkor and marasmus. Next is calcium, present in milk, green leafy vegetables, gingerly seeds, or you can say til. It leads to deficiency, leads to rickets. Rickets is the deficiency in the bones, osteomalacia and tetany. So, these all are related to bone. Then the third one is iron. Sources are liver, green leafy vegetables, rice flakes, chivada, rice flakes means chivada, and jaggery ya gud. Then the deficiency may lead to anemia, that is the less hemoglobin in the blood. Then vitamin A, very major and important nutrient, it is present in liver, egg yolk, butter, green leafy vegetables, carrots as well as in milk, and deficiency may lead to night blindness and other type of blindness, because long term deficiency may lead to permanent blindness. Then thiamine, it is a B complex, it is present in yeast and outer layer of cereals, pulses and nuts. Means the husk also contains vitamin B complex, and that is why it is said that we should consume whole grains and whole cereals in our diet, and the flour is good, which includes the whole wheat, and we should not sieve the flour. So, it deficiency may lead to pain in the calf muscles, weakness in the heart muscle. Then the next nutrient is niacin. Niacin is also a vitamin B complex. Sources are groundnuts, whole cereals and pulses. Deficiency may lead to 3D diseases. It is known as 3D disease, dementia related to brain, diarrhea related to digestive system, and dermatitis related to skin. Vitamin B6 is present in meat, liver, vegetables, whole cereals and grains, and deficiency leads to anemia, angular stomatitis. Vitamin B12 is present in yeast, fermented foods, and deficiency may lead to pernicious anemia. Vitamin C, very important vitamin, it is usually present in citrus fruit, amla, guava, as well as in the green chili. and these fruits are easily available, and we can very well avoid the deficiency of vitamin C, and deficiency may lead to bleeding gums. Then vitamin D, it is very much important, as I discussed earlier also, in the solidifying of bones, because calcium and phosphorus are not utilized unless and until vitamin D is present, and enough amount of vitamin D is present in sunlight, and it is said that morning 10-minute sunlight will be enough for you for the requirement of vitamin D. And deficiency leads to rickets and osteomalacia, and as you all know that today's lifestyle problems are so many, and lack of vitamin D and deficiency of vitamin D is a major problem, major issue which is related to lifestyle problems, because we always want to sit inside in good and comfortable environment, and in that way we just do not get enough sunlight, and that causes the bone weakness and deficiency of calcium in bones, and it leads to pains in leg, joints, waist, etc., pelvic area. Now, when we after talking about the food groups, it is very much important to understand the daily nutrition requirement of these nutrients, and these are known as recommended dietary allowances, and these are recommended by Indian Council of Medical Research in India, and every 4 to 5 years or 6 years ICMR comes up with new nutrient requirements after so many researches. Findings of so many researches lead to these kind of recommendations. So RDA are important for maintaining good health and physical efficiency. Diet should provide adequate amount of all nutrients. The concept of balanced diet for different categories of people to have healthful diet is a good approach. Then what is balanced diet? The diet which provide adequate nutrients according to age, sex and working condition of an individual. Unfortunately, an ideal diet cannot be defined. So balanced diet, we just do not know about each and every one does not know about the nutrient requirement of nutrients, and what are those food products which are providing these nutrients and how much amount. So it becomes very much difficult to plan a balanced diet, but to some extent we can plan if we have knowledge about the recommended dietary allowances. This has led to the concept of RDA on the basis of height of an Indian adult, body weight of 60 kg for reference man and 50 kg for reference woman is used in arriving at RDA. So if we are overweight according to height, that RDA will not work in that sense. So 60 kg for man and 50 kg for woman. The philosophy behind the concept of RDA is that individuals of similar age, sex and physical activity levels may have different nutrient needs. For example, a tall boy will have definitely a different kind of requirement from a short boy. Height plays a major role, as in the same way a girl will have a different kind of requirement than a boy. So both genetic and environmental factors are presumably involved. The needs of an individual are rarely known. Thus, if an adequate intake of nutrients is to be assured for all individuals, the nutrient standard should be established at the upper end of the range of requirements of the group. It is seen that groups with relatively low energy intakes like teenage girls, adult women and elderly persons are usually finding most difficulty in achieving the recommended level of intake. So what are the factors which affect RDA? As I discussed in the previous slide, there are certain factors like age, infant, adolescent and aged. An infant requires more protein per kilogram of body weight than adolescent, since their metabolic rate is much faster than that of adolescent, and their growth rate is much faster than an adolescent individual. Then sex, obviously male and female. Adolescent girls require more iron than adolescent boy in order to replace iron lost during menstruation every month. Then body size, it is affected by height, weight, surface area and stature. As I told you earlier, tall heavily built man needs more calories than small stature man, since his body surface area is more than that of the latter. Then physical state may be pregnancy or lactation. These are the special stages stated in the in every diet plan. So a pregnant woman requires more nutritious food than ordinary adult woman, since she has to meet the additional requirement, nutritional requirement of the growing fetus. Likewise, a lactating mother requires more nutrient than a normal lady, because she needs to feed her infant also. Then the next is type of work, whether we are doing a job of a sitting job or the person is a labor. So it depends on the working condition and working style of the individual. A sedentary worker requires less calories than a labor or a farmer. So in India, Indian Council of Medical Research recommends the recommended dietary allowances. I am not going into detail of the table, because you will find those tables on internet also. These are recommended by the ICMR. I am just giving you a few important aspects of RDA and uses of RDA. What are the uses and why RDA is important? First, it enables government to predict food needs of the population. Through RDA, we come to know about the needs of the population, because we have the statistics, we know about the elder woman, adolescent, girl, boy, children of different age, and accordingly it could be calculated, and it helps in the food production also. It provides basis for food distribution quota. It guides agricultural planning policy. It also guides policy of food export and import, guides planning of nutritionally adequate diets of inmates of large catering establishments such as hospitals, hostels, army canteen, etc. To evaluate the findings of food consumption surveys of various population groups, to evaluate the adequacy of food supplies in relation to nutritional needs, to develop and evaluate new products developed by the food industry, to establish guidelines for labeling of food from the nutritional standpoint, and to develop nutritional education programs. These are the uses, you can say large scale uses, but at the level of family also we can provide adequate balanced diet to all the members of the family, and accordingly we can modify the diet. We need not to cook separate food for different individual. We can bring modification in the basic diet to fulfill the needs, nutritional needs of all the members of the family. Now come to the basic terminologies used in the food preparation. After understanding the basic aspects of food, food groups, food functions, etc., we must know the basic terminologies, because these are important to understand while planning a diet, because we take different courses in our meal. If we talk about different courses, the first, if we serve is appetizer, and appetizer, a small portion of fruit, juice or savory tidbit served as the first course of meal. Au gratin, a dish covered with sauce, bread crumbs or cheese, and then baked and grilled, and then served in the same dish. Baking powder. Baking powder is sodium bicarbonate plus acid plus cornstarch, and there are two things actually available and recommended for while making some baked dish: baking powder and baking soda, but these two are different. Baking soda is only sodium bicarbonate. Batter, a mixture of flour, liquid and other ingredients which is sufficiently soft to be beaten or battered. Broth, an unclarified thin soup. Compote, fruit stewed in syrup. Croquette, a mixture of chopped or minced food made into various shapes, coated with egg and crumbs and deep fried. Puree, to press food through a fine sieve or blend in the blender so it becomes a smooth thick paste. Salad dressing, a liquid or semi-liquid served with or on a salad to give it specific flavor. Then sauce, a seasoned, usually thickened liquid used to enhance a dish. Then barbecue, we all eat and know barbecue, but what is barbecue? It is to roast slowly on a pit over coals or under a heat unit, usually basting with highly seasoned sauce. Beat, it is not beating, it is beat to make a mixture smooth by introducing air with a brisk regular motion. Then cut and fold, a very common term used while making cake. It is mixing flour very gently into an aerated mixture. We incorporate air through this method in the batter. Then garnish means to decorate the food. Flake, to break into small pieces with a fork, being careful not to mash the pieces. Then knead, this is not knead, this is knead, to work a dough lightly by bringing the outside of the dough into the center using the knuckles of the hand. Sachet, you find certain herbs and spices in cloth or paper or plastic sachet. So herbs and spices tied in a piece of cheesecloth, but here it is meant as tied in a cloth and added to the cooking pot or pan. एक कपड़े की वो बना के उसमें सारे ये spices डाल के it is added in the cooking pot. Then season, to improve the aroma and flavor of food by adding seasoning like salt, pepper, mustard, garlic, etc. Whisk, to beat cream or eggs till a stiff froth is obtained. Toss, to beat cream or egg till a whisk and toss are almost same. And temper, to heat fat and fry various spices before adding to a dish. So these are a few basic terminologies which are used in preparation. Otherwise there are so many like dicing, cutting, chopping. So these are being used in day-to-day life. So I think I should finish the topic for the day here. I discussed both the science and art of basic food preparation today.
Definitely, ma'am, you have discussed very important points here regarding the nutrition. We always talk about having a healthy food, but we tend to forget many important points starting from what we should eat and what we should prepare. Ma'am, you talked about malnutrition, and as now concerned, we only know that malnutrition is deficiency of something. But you mentioned in the lecture also that overeating or having overnutrition also it is unhealthy for the body. What are the diseases or what are those nutrients if are taken in excess are harmful for the body?
Have you heard about obesity?
Obesity.
It is a malnutrition because certain nutrients are taken into excess like fat and carbohydrates. You can see that these days maximum number of children are obese because what is the reason? This is they go for junk foods. Junk foods, they always want fast food because those are tasty, loaded with cheese, with butter, and they find a different kind of taste in that. They always go for aerated drinks. Those drinks are full of calories, and these food stuff give them over energy. You can say double the energy they require. And in a way they become obese, and obesity is the root cause of so many other diseases like heart disease, hypertension, diabetes. So ultimately they are going towards a kind of malnutrition. It is not a balanced diet.
It means that we can say that we should eat everything, but in a definite, quantity.
And specified quantity. If you require 25 kilocalories of energy and you are taking 5,000 calories, so definitely that calorie will go somewhere. It converts into fat in our body and deposited in the tissues and the skin.
Ma'am, we always talk about having excess of water. But
Yeah.
if we talk about water in connection with the food, that one is having a good food, but how much quantity of water should be consumed in a particular day?
Actually, it is usually we recommend that, I don't know about how much ICMR recommends, but at least 8 liters of water a day. So, it actually water also works as flushing agent. So many impurities of the body are being flushed out by the excess amount of water in the body.
So, do you believe that, or does any conceptions or misconceptions that excess of water is also bad for the human body?
No, I never heard about that. Excess of water, never heard about that. And as it is, people used to take less amount of water. So excess of water, it always helpful in reducing the fat, in reducing the weight, and giving you a good feeling. Means it gives you, it rejuvenates you in a way.
But if you talk about, ma'am, digestion process or metabolism process, does having water in between the food, as recommended by many people,
between
interrupt?
the food, yeah, people used to say that you should not have water in between the, but there is no something proved about that. I haven't come.
Because some people have tendency of having one bite and then a glass of water.
Actually, it is said that if you take water, then you will eat less, because water will satisfy you and you will eat less. That is why it is said that first you should have your full meal and then you take water. Usually children, if they do not want to eat, they take water. They want juices or drinks or that kind of things.
That kinds of things. So, all for all the mothers who used to cook every day for their children, especially for the students or the kids going to the school. Nowadays, we have seen that they used to make the tiffins of the children very, we can say, very visually correct. We can say fancy. So, what do you recommend? What could be done?
Actually, visually correct or fancy tiffins could be given, and those could be made nutritious as well. For example, if a child likes those French fries, so we can add the peanuts, we can add sago in that, and we can make fries. It will not look like exactly French fries, but different kind of cutlets, and those will children will develop the taste accordingly. Likewise, we can also give them sandwiches having cheese, but having different vegetables and have the things which are nutritious. For example, we can add coconut, we can add groundnuts, we can add cucumber, or coriander leaves could be added. So a different kind of flavor will be there and they will like that.
If we talk about the peoples in the metropolitan cities where the lifestyle is very hectic because of the work profile the people carrying, and in between they sometimes don't get time to have their lunch, or they tend to skip their lunch, or sometimes they reach home late and their dinner is late. Do you feel so that these variations, it disturbs the appetite?
It disturbs. Actually, the metabolism of the body is affected by that kind of pattern, because there should be a definite gap between the meals, and it is scientifically proven. And if you are not having time, you can have that kind of lunch. For example, wrap something in the chapati. You can make a nutritious roll out of that. So you can plan your diet accordingly, so that you need not to sit for a elaborate lunch. You can have that kind of lunch, but it will be nutritious. But the very important aspect, while you take your food, you should be comfortable, free and relaxed. So I must suggest that at least you take out 10 to 15 minutes out of your schedule and have your lunch properly.
Ma'am, what about having at least a fruit daily?
At least a fruit daily means, it doesn't mean that you should have mango daily. It should be a nutritious food like apple. I will not suggest, because apples are so costly these days. You can have guava, you can have pears, you can have chiku, banana also,
foods, depending
on that. Apples are so costly, so I will not recommend those who can afford. It is a very good thing, but those who cannot afford can go for these fruits also.
There is any criteria for the fruits also? Some people tend to eat fruits immediately after their meals, or some people have tendency to eat fruits early in the morning while as a breakfast.
Actually, if you hear nutritionists or dietitians, they will suggest you to have a proper breakfast full of cereal and carbohydrate. Fruit could be one of the
ingredients,
but it should not be only fruit.
It should not be only the fruit.
Fruit in between the meals, after the lunch.
You have raised very important point over here about the breakfast also. So we hope that all the people, students or the working people, tend to have a very good and healthy breakfast, so that they can cope with
basic, you can say very bad thing which is happening. Children used to go early at 6 or 6:30 in the morning to their school, and there they carry the tiffin, and I think they get time at 10 or 10:15. So I will request all the school authorities to give them time at 8 or 8:30 to have their breakfast.
Definitely, ma'am. With this note, we would take our leave and hope that tomorrow also, I would like to tell students that Dr. Nilima Asthana would be with us, and she would be giving us more insight into how nutrition is important. We are going to learn more fundamentals on nutrition. With this note, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so very much.
Thanks a lot.